Okay, so tonight I'm going to talk about fire. And according to the survey from the fire department in Taiwan, the most common cause of a fire in Taiwan is electricity, or an electrical fire, or e-fire in other words. So tonight my speech is going to cover two parts. One is the prevention of an e-fire, and the another is how to put out a starting fire in the very beginning. So let's start. So here's the picture shows how a normal circuit in use schedulely. Here is a source and a pair of a wire through which the power goes from the source to your loaded device. And usually the voltage of the source is steady, which say the voltage V is constant, and by the rated power of your device will get the current I in the circuit. And when we get this two index, we multiply it. The voltage multiplied the current will get the power consumed by this circuit, and the power will either work for your device or goes to heat. That's a question. Goes to heat Q. But to be noticed, heat itself won't cause a fire directly, but it should be handled seriously. And let's say the heat issue in a circuit can be seen from two aspects. One is how the heat dissipates, and second, is there any abnormal heat we don't want generated in your system? It's not real clear. I put a flash here. Okay, and so when you're using a device, you should. Most of the devices are designed well to dissipate the heat it generates, and to use it, the user should save enough space for this dissipation, and not to block the normal function of the device. Because, as I say, the power works for the device or goes to heat. If you block the function, the malfunction devices will all the power will a malfunction in the device will make all the power goes to heat, abnormal heat we don't want. So it should be noticed carefully. And this heat effect also should be noticed in the wire. The wire generates the heat very, very small, but for some necessary reason, people may bend and tight or twist the wire for some reasons, and this will cause a problem because all the heat was generated in a rather small space, and this will cause a heat dissipation problem. And further, a bend in the wire may break the insulation, the 绝缘层, on the wire, which will further make a short in your circuit. What a short circuit will make the problem is when a circuit is short, the current is no longer determined by your device. So the large current will heat all of your system furiously. And the short is normally occurred in a connection. When the plug loosely connects to its socket, it will leave the slot between. And the slot between, as time goes by, some dust may accumulate in this slot and conduct the current, and it burns in the end. So to make a good habit, you should unplug all the devices not in use. And if somehow you need to plug you need to plug some devices 24/7 in your place. Your 24/7 in your place. Make sure you check and clean the connection every year. And after talking about the heat, we're moving to fire. Okay. The fire. If we want to find out some efficient way to put out a fire, we should in an emergency, we should know the fire better in normal time. And the fire is composed by 3 elements. One, oxidant. Oxidant is usually the oxygen gas. Oxygen, the gas, and the another is fuel. The fuel, it can be many things like the wood, oil, or it's like clothes or furniture. Any furniture. It's very different by case. And another is, as we mentioned, the heat. This triangle makes a fire. And when we are putting out a fire, we just move one or more elements from these triangles, and the fire will die down. Let's look at a few examples. A birthday candle. If someone blows out his or her birthday candle, what does he or she do? We just blow out. We just blow away. Oh, very soon. We just blow away the hot air and temporarily separate the oxidant and the fuel. The fuel in this case is the candle, the wick, and the wax. 烛芯和它的蜡, okay? So we temporarily separate these things, and the fire will gradually die down. So the fire is putting out in this case. In another case, let's see. Oh, this is work. I think it's not clear enough for you to say. When you're cooking, your wok catch fire. Your wok catch fire and it's burning. It starts burning, and one may cover the lid on it to put out the fire. And what does he do? What does he or she do? Anybody? No. This action will block the airflow, and when I cover the lid, I just wait until the oxygen inside to be burned out, and the fire will suffocate. So this is how things going. So in most of the case that we will intuitively think of cooling down this fire, and it's very important to tell that when you think of to bring something to cooling down a fire, always think of the fire extinguisher before water, because water is really inefficient in many cases, like the oil fire or the electrical fire. And in most of the case, when someone wants to bring water to put out a fire, they will still start to find a container, maybe a little bottle. Is not really efficient. So it's recommended to always think about the fire extinguisher at the first place. And okay, I think it's a very important thing, so I put it in the last. And thank you everyone. TME.